I am Emmy Laybourne. I am a novelist, a former character actor, and I had about a year and a half ago, I had a wild experience breaking free from a pretty gnarly phone addiction. My mother is here. Hi, Mom. Thank you for joining us. This is my friend Steve, the one I've been telling you about. He's so great. He's Canadian. You're going to love him.
Hi, Mom.
So I had this amazing experience where I figured out a system to break free from phone addiction. And at first, I didn't, it worked successfully. I did not want to write about it. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to go off and live my life as a novelist. But the more I looked around the world and saw how much people were asking for something like this and really needed something like this, I decided I had to share it. So I made a course called the 5-Week Phone Fight. I researched it. I wrote it. I tested it. I tried it out on myself. I tried it out on my friends. I got a bunch of beta testers involved. You're about to meet one of them, or I don't know if he's over here. It's like the Brady Bunch. You're in a box next to me, but I don't know which box. So let me introduce the guy who's on screen with me. This is Steve Pratt.
Hello.
Hello. Steve is an award-winning Canadian author, creative strategist, and one of basically the sharpest voices in talking about how attention works these days and how our attention is being grabbed. I have his brilliant book, Earn It: Unconventional Strategies for Brave Marketers, and I absolutely love his Substack, the Midlife Field Guide, the Midlife Field Guide. And as an experiment for the Midlife Field Guide, Steve was one of my beta testers for this course. So he is literally the perfect person to have on today as I celebrate the launch of the course, because he can tell us all about it. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. And thank you for letting me be a beta tester for your course, because like you said, I'm fascinated and obsessed with attention and doing all these weird life experiments. This is like the perfect intersection of how can I get my attention back from this, doom scrolling device, and get my life back a little bit. And hello, Bob Kronbauer. Nice to see you here.
Hey, Bob. Yeah. Nice to have you. He is brilliant. I agree with myself. And
so is Bob. Bob is a legend. So yes, yeah. So honored to have you here, Bob. Yeah.
Awesome. I love your beard, Steve. I can't go any further without. This is one of your experiments. You've never grown a beard, and you decided to grow a beard.
Yeah. So I'm the very short midlife field guide pitch is my friend Jeff and I decided to do a bunch of life experiments on ourselves in public to try and figure out midlife. And this is one of them. When I first met you, I did not look like this. So there's a whole bunch of things that are going on in my life, and they've all been fabulous. This is one of them, and I cannot wait to talk about it, because I feel like even though the beard may not be a universal thing, the phone feels very universal.
Oh, yeah. The phone is very universal. Everybody is finding out now that they really are addicted to their phones. And we're going to get all into this, but what I find astonishing is how much shame people have around it. Phones are designed to be really addictive. The app designers are designing them so that they're super sticky, but just the process of picking up a brightly colored object that intermittently rewards you during the day becomes really habit forming. You want to see what you might have gotten. What did I get? What's on my email? What's in a text? And so people are picking their phones up. The average pickups a day, 100 times.
Sorry, it's like a little dopamine casino, right? It's
100%. Just a little machine, and we're all just taking little sips of dopamine all day long. So, we've got so much to talk about.
Well, I want to ask you out of the gate. Yeah. I just wanted to say, I am so fascinated, because when you talk about entrepreneurialism, when people are like, oh, you should scratch your own itch or solve your own problem, I feel like you did that and then decided to make it public. I would love to hear about where you were with your phone piece, but then I'm super fascinated about how you actually came up with this program for yourself, because it's like it's a remarkably like it's a lot, like it's wonderful. Like this is not a query chat GPT for 5 minutes thing. Like this is a real
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, thank you for asking me that. That's great. Let me tell you all about it. So I had a problem with mobile games. This was kind of a seasonal problem. So I would beat it. I would say no more games, and then my life would get stressful, and then it would reach this point of stress where I was like, I'm just going to play two dots for 15 minutes. And then that would be 20 minutes the next day and 30 minutes the next day. And before I knew it, I was playing a whole stable of games. And welcome to everyone who's joining us. We're so glad you're here. I would
Hello,
be playing,
Candy.
Hi, Candy. I would be playing games for 2 to 4 hours a day. And I'm a novelist. So that's taking real time away from my work. Then this one night, my husband was out of town. I had a really lovely day with my daughter, and then she left to hang out with friends. And like 8 o'clock, I had nothing to do. And I sat in my home office and played games for 8 hours straight till 2 in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah. And every 5 minutes, I'd be like, okay, just more game, just one more game. And then I would like go scroll social media to like palate cleanse. And then I'd come back and play another whole kind of game I would play for 2 hours. So anyway, I woke up in the morning and I felt like garbage. I mean, my brain was so tired. I had no energy. I felt confused. I felt really like I looked at my phone and I thought, I think this is giving me brain damage. I I did. I mean, that was like a word we used as Gen X kids who'd be like, oh, you could get brain damage. But I was like, I think I'm getting brain damage. So I promptly picked up a book called Dopamine Nation, which I had read about 6 months before, and I had when reading it, I had thought, if I read this book, I'm going to have to change, and I'm not ready to change. So I put it down. So this time, I read the whole book in one sitting. Then I went back into my office, and I got tons of books in here about productivity, behavior. Also, I have the big book from Alcoholics Anonymous because I'm writing a book about an alcoholic. And I just read everything I could about addiction. And my creative brain started to really get engaged in this because I thought, okay, enough. I've done this over and over again. I know none of the books on phones have helped me so far. I need to go out of the box. I need to make something completely new that is personalized to me, that's creative the way that I am. And I think the more creative I make it, the more I'll engage with it. So this was all happening on March 30th, through March 30th through the 31st. So on the 1st of April, I started this project that I made up for myself called Analog April. And the rules were I wrote a pledge, I wrote it out. I would not look at a game for 30 days. I would not look at social media. I would not play Wordle. I would not, if someone held up a screen to me, I would block it from my eyes so I wouldn't see it. And I would journal every day. I would ask friends and family for support. I would ask them to invite me to do fun things because I was worried I was going to be really bored. And couple other just safety mechanisms that I had in there. Oh, and I told the people that I asked for support that I might call them because I was trying to do this hard thing. And I might
It's like the phone a friend thing.
totally, totally lifeline. You're going to be my lifeline. And to my delight, it completely worked. Day by day, I felt my brain function returning. I started sleeping better. My creativity came flooding back. I also had to face some hard truths about my phone usage. Like I'm using social media as a stand-in because I'm lonely for real people. I don't see real people enough. And my phone is like a Band-Aid, but it's not really seeing people. So once I stopped being on social media, then I was calling my friends. I was like, hey, I miss you. You want to hang out? And so by the end of this month, I I was pretty sure that I had solved my problem. And then I decided to not do anything with it. Not write a book. I'm a novelist. It's like, I'm not writing a book. I'm just not going to do anything because I don't want to give a year of my life to this project. I've got novels to write. But then I went out in the world and I saw so many people. Oh, our friend Jill is here.
Hello,
Hi,
Jill.
hi, JLAD. Um, I saw so many people struggling that I said, I actually, I want to help. But I don't want to write a book. Instead, what I want to do is teach. I've really been enjoying teaching. I teach creative writing. And I thought, okay, I want to teach. I want to use everything I know about teaching, about course curriculum making, and about brain function, about phone addiction, about my process, and make it all into a course. So I worked on that for a long time. And then I was about to try to like shoot it in my kitchen by myself. And I thought, you know what? I think this course is really good. I think it deserves to be produced properly. So I partnered up with a company called Thrive Productions in Oakland, California. I flew there, we shot the thing, they edited it. I mean, so it's like it's good, right?
It is. It's really pro. It looks great. Yeah.
So
Can I go
that's the
back to one
process.
thing you said earlier? I
Yeah.
love that you were so open to talking about being lonely as the
Mm,
thing that like hit you with the social media piece
yeah.
because like there were I think two things. One, I feel like writer life, 100%.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like since COVID, this is just a universal thing where still so many people are working from home
Yes.
in their basement and on Zoom all day or on email or Slack or whatever it is that like this lack of human connection is like oddly coincides with the rise of TikTok and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts,
Yeah.
all these sorts of things that they are very correlated.
Yeah. Social media really offers an illusion of connection. It's an illusion. It makes you think it's like empty calories, I guess they used to say. It's like it makes you think you're connecting with someone, but you're not. It's just certain parts of your brain. But the animal part of us, I mean, this is just my own ideas, but the animal part of us really wants to hear each other's voices and see each other's faces and see how we're reacted to in real time. It's not enough to see a cute baby. You want to hold a cute baby, man. You
It's
wanna
funny,
play
like
peekaboo with the cute baby.
I remember when Instagram first came out and it was not the greatest thing for my kids at that age because
Mm,
there's a lot of FOMO around
yeah,
like, oh, everybody's putting all their best versions of their life out there and people are liking
yeah,
it and there's different, and I feel like since then, it's been like well over a decade, it has just ramped up and ramped up and ramped up and that everything like, all the algorithmic feeds now are just designed very, very intentionally to just
mhm.
soak up all your attention and play to all your weak spots psychologically and just
Ah,
keep it going and going. And it's
you
hard to
got
resist. It is hard to
it is
resist.
hard to resist. It's hard to resist because it's delightful, you know? These little videos are really they're fun. They're very sexy and they're fun to consume but they're taking so much from us, and it really doesn't take a lot to break away from them. So I want to actually turn to you. So now you heard how I made the course, and we can talk more about entrepreneurialism later. I mean, it has been fun to be an entrepreneur. I have enjoyed it. I like all the stuff. I like writing emails. I like doing graphics. I like it all. But I would love to ask you about your process taking the course.
Yeah. So
Right.
I guess maybe I should tell you why I took it. Maybe
Yeah.
to start is,
Yes. What situation were you in where you got this offer to take this beta class and you were like, "Yeah, let me try that."
yeah, so I've been doing this midlife field guide thing. And I don't even know, it was kind of in the like very, very early stages of this thing. And I knew that I had a phone problem. Like I knew that I was spending way too much time on my phone and that it was not healthy. And part of it, I think you kind of alluded to is like you do feel a bit of shame. Like if you look at your screen time report or,
Yeah.
you're sitting at home at night, in TikTok or whatever it is. Um, so I think in some ways you think about like what are the most addictive things that people get, so games, 100% the games, right?
Really? Mhm.
I think things like the short form video pieces, um, I have like mortifying ones that are, I think, just so much more lame. So, so there's part of me that was like legitimately addicted to LinkedIn, which is like the dumbest thing ever. Is being like, why do I keep going to check all these people
Yeah.
posting about all their career escapades? But I did, and I would check it way too often, and I'm like, this is like and I never felt good going. I never felt good when I was there, and I never felt good afterwards, and I still kept going. And then I also realized that I was like starting every single day in my bed, open the thing, and just
Mm.
start doing Wordle. And the
Mhm.
Wordle was this gateway to all these other things. So it started with Wordle, but then it moved to all the other New York Times games,
I
and
know.
then it moved to the New York Times itself, and then I ended up checking usually LinkedIn or anyways, whatever it was. But I kind of hit this point where I was like, oh, I'm spending an hour of my day every day before I even get out of bed sitting on this thing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I need to get it. I need to deal with this, and I should do some sort of phone experiment for the field guide. And right then, Jill Deacon, right there, hello Jill,
Here.
said like, you should meet my friend Emmy, who has got this thing of a phone course, and you were looking for beta testers. I'm like, this is like been sent from the heavens. This is a weird
So
thing.
cool. Serendipity.
Yeah. And anyways, I was hugely grateful for the timing of all of it. And I mean, we can talk about my experience, but it was a really transformative experience for me.
Yeah. Well, so briefly tell me, what apps did you choose? So the just to explain to those who are here, um, the program is basically set up. It's a 5-week phone fight. The structure is kind of in the title. The first week you do is a prep week where you prepare, you do some learning about the science of phone addiction. You do some learning about how much better you're going to feel, which I think is really motivating. And then you choose which apps you are addicted to, and you set the hardest possible boundary around them for a month. So if for me it was games and Instagram, and I said, okay, for the next month, I'm not going to look at a game or look at Instagram on any device. Um, what were they for you, Steve? Do you mind sharing what the apps were that what
Yeah.
apps
So
those?
you may already be able to guess. So I got rid of all the New York Times games. I got rid of all news apps, and I got rid
Great.
of all social media apps, and I just deleted them from my phone. So I could not access them at all. And I knew at some point I would have to, just for work reasons, I would have to do some access to it. But I was like, I will only do it on desktop, and only to like manage things. Like I'm not going to go consume things. Like if I need to post something or if somebody tags me and I need to reply to it, I'll pop in and pop out. But I'm not going to check news. I'm not going to consume social media, and I'm not going to play any of my Wordle games.
Awesome.
And then the other big one, honestly, then I have to say, I confess, you had this thing in the course about like get your phone out of your bedroom at night, and I've heard of that before, and it's kind of like, nah, whatever, I'm fine. This is where my charging thing is. It's right beside my bed. It's fine. Transformational. I did it, and I was just like, I
Nice.
actually can't believe what a difference that made, even though it
Yeah.
sounds so trivial. I feel
Awesome.
like maybe you should even like you could even talk about some of the science behind why that is, like the subconscious piece. But
Yeah.
the science be damned, it just worked. Like it was, I felt so much better.
I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about that in 1 second, but I want to
Yeah.
just stay where we are in the process. So you started it, you got into the weeks of abstinence. What were the kind of changes? How did you feel in your body and your mind? At like what was the most surprising thing about how you felt now being off of these apps?
Well, it's funny because you brought up addiction in general, and I feel like a bunch of the things that you would assume for almost any kind of addiction you go through is that like for the first little bit, there are almost like withdrawal pieces of like noticing all your impulses to want to go check them, and you notice the triggers of
Mhm.
why you want to go to them and when you want to go to them,
Yeah.
and the feelings that you have when you're wanting to check them and when you can't.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
but I will say, like, it was very quickly liberating. It felt like I'd given myself like a spa treatment for my brain a bit. Or you're like, oh, this is a really nice gift to give yourself.
Mm,
And I think a lot around why don't we do some of these things that are really good for us.
yeah.
And I think sometimes it's just hard to give yourself permission to do something, even if you know it's good for you. Like, I know I should stop doing these things, and yet I keep doing them. And sometimes just having
Yeah.
a reason to do it matters. And so, for me, taking this course, it's
Yeah.
like I'm committing to doing it and having a public commitment, especially because I was writing about it, but like a public commitment, say, I'm not going to do this. It was like, oh, I have permission to not do this stuff. And that was like this weird revelation. Like, it was just, I had so much more time in my day to do other things and to do, for me, it was very creatively invigorating. I just felt I had a lot more creative energy because I wasn't wasting the first hour of my day and my brain power, you know, on Wordle and spelling bee and connections and
I know you think that stuff is not going to take anything from you, but it actually does take from you. It takes your focus, it takes your momentum. And looking at your phone that much is not good for your brain. Which you mentioned talking going maybe into talking about some of the ways that limiting your phone use can really be useful, and I'm delighted to do that. But I just want to say that it's so fun for me. I mean, I set you up to tell me. So, what did you like about the course? But it's really gratifying for me because everybody who takes the course, whether they take it really well, the way you did, whether they make a public commitment and they're motivated and they do every lesson and they're really in there, or they even kind of half-ass it and they only do half the lessons and they don't do it perfectly, they all seem to have this feeling of joy of like, oh, I've been made to feel that I have to be on this phone by the apps, maybe by society, but I actually just feel a lot better. The less time I spend on it, the better my body and my brain feels, which I think is interesting.
it is funny though, because like it's not all easy, right? And you put in the thing being like week 2 is the hardest, I think. Am I right in remembering this?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So week 2 is the hardest, right? And I was kind of cruising through week 2 and being like, Emmy's full of it. I'm crushing it. And it suddenly got really hard at certain points. And
Yeah.
I think when you're talking about uh, like the pressure to use these things, it's still out there. Even if you have this commitment that you're doing the course and you're off of these things, you notice like other people will start being like, I messaged you, didn't you get it? Or why aren't you on here anymore? Or
Yeah.
how can you check out of news, you ignorant meathead? But the
Yeah.
worst, honestly, like every social media platform notices when you're not there. And you start seeing these tactics that happen when you're not on the platforms, where you start getting emails, from the different platforms. And LinkedIn 100% was it's like,
100%.
Steve is weak. I can sense Steve is weak. He's in withdrawal. And it
We're
was like,
losing him.
it
Yeah.
was like, oh, here's what you're missing here. And it was not like, here are comments on things for you. Here's the stats of things that your past posts are getting, and why aren't, your stats are down this week. And then it actually
You're
started.
down.
I
Wow.
know, and it was like, your scoreboard is disappointing results. You better get in there and boost your scoreboard.
Yeah.
Um, and the worst one, they started basically like recreating LinkedIn in my inbox, where they started sending me content that other people were posting on LinkedIn. It was like, I'm not even going to LinkedIn, and it's just showing up in my anyways.
Wow.
But because I was off of it, you
Yeah.
see all this stuff with clarity that you don't really see when you're in it. And that was a pattern I just saw over and over and over again with the distance. Was I can see how I'm being manipulated back into the phone on
Yeah.
all sorts of levels.
Yeah.
And it was empowering because I feel like now it's almost like you see the Matrix a little bit. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. And it's, that alone, just the knowledge of seeing that has made it a lot easier to keep staying away from it after the phone fight is officially over, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I tell you, to promote the launch of the course today, I've had to be on Instagram a lot in the last 5 days, and it is like standing in a pool of molasses. I mean, it is so sucking me down, and I, like, can't wait till I delete the app because it's really fun. The little videos are super fun to look at, and there's gardening tips. There's all of this stuff that I like, but I know that what it actually will do is really disrupt the healthy process of my brain, that the way that my brain works. So why I've been now alluding to the fact that I was going to give us some science. Why don't I give us a little science? So the thing that I learned while researching and writing the curriculum for the 5-week phone fight that most blew my mind was about the default mode network. So the default mode network is a group of 4 areas of our brains. And these 4 areas don't usually work together. But when we are doing something that doesn't require focused attention, so if we're not reading the newspaper or we're doing a math problem, if we're doing dishes, say, or taking a shower, these 4 regions of the brain start working through the events of the last few days. They're making sense of our memories, and they're also working on problems that we have. And because these parts of the brain don't usually talk to each other, they tend to come up with really interesting problems. Like one of them is about memory storage, and one of them is about physical, where your body is in the ground, on the earth. So it's like, wow, that's weird. And they come up with all this great stuff. But their primary process is to sort through and sort out all the stuff that has fallen into your brain, right? So when you use social media, say, or scroll news apps or do games, the first thing that happens to your DMN, your default mode network, is it doesn't have any more time to process anymore. Because anytime you're online, anytime you're bored, you're waiting somewhere, people are even watching their phones in the shower, on the toilet. Anytime you're bored, you're looking at your phone. So the time that the DMN normally gets for a human being, it's gone. Even worse, you're dumping in a bunch of information, very strong visuals, emotionally compelling clips that require your brain to deal with them. We feel like we're jaded. We've seen so many little things on Instagram, but when your brain gets a baby seal dying and a cute kitten and a girl kissing in love and a guy singing in Paris and pants that you want to buy and war, it's like, oh my God, your brain, it's like, yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like a pinata's worth of content is dumped into your DMN. Your DMN already doesn't have any time to process. And this is one of the reasons why I think that we have a depression and anxiety problem with young people, is that the DMN is also really responsible for identity formation. So how can you form your identity when you've got no time to process your life and a bunch of junk that you also have to process? So the beautiful thing is that when you stop throwing chum into your DMN and you give it some time to work, and you can go for walks with no music on, sweep, do physical activities that are brainless, but really actually are allowing these deep systems to work. And it is so fun to see how quickly your brain recovers. I mean, within a month of this process, the 5-week phone fight, people are feeling that their thought process is so much clearer and their creativity comes flooding back. Did you have any feelings about your creativity? Did you find that to be true?
Enormous. Like I suddenly, like I have always like had this being like, man, it would be really nice to be one of those creative people who just gets up in the morning and does their creative work. And the few times I've been able to do it, it's been amazing. I just found like this whole bucket of time and energy opened up where I was extremely creatively productive during the phone fight.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like I was at this like a midlife event for a friend's book launch last week, a book called Shift about midlife mindset
Mm.
shifts. And there was a neuroscientist named Laura Boyd from UBC in like University of British Columbia here in Canada, who came and talked about how neuroplasticity works and how much the brain can change like every single day when you're doing new things. So like 100% the science backs up like your
Yeah.
brain can change very quickly based on new experiences you give it. And this was giving a lot of new fresh experiences that were wonderful. Um, the other piece I have to say, like, that really stood out to me when you're talking about like how everybody's like, using it in the shower and all these crazy things, and you don't give yourself time to do it. The number one thing I took away from this that was just, I just feel like I need to say it to everybody who's on here is just, I couldn't believe in some ways how much time I was spending on this device in that almost like unconscious mode of just consumption that
Yeah.
I was not actually living my life. Like, and you said like it is lots of fun and it's great, but what's the opportunity cost of using it that much? And I looked
Yeah.
at, my device stuff, and it was, I know some people have a harder time than whatever. So I was like 4.5 hours a day on the phone, and some of it is weird, like some of it is text or Spotify or something that are hard to, but even if you just multiply that by every week, by every month, by how many years you're doing
Yeah.
this stuff, it suddenly turns into just like an enormous, enormous chunk of your actual life.
Yeah.
Your one precious life is being
Yeah.
spent
I know.
on the device for just,
Yeah.
and I was like, I actually don't want to do that anymore. And that has been the liberating part is it's like, it's just been this default thing where it just keeps growing and growing and growing subconsciously. And this going through this process with you has been just like an awakening and a perspective shift. It's like you just zoom out to 10,000 feet and you're like, this is really unhealthy. Like this, this is, and that's again made it really so much easier to keep going afterwards.
I'm so glad to hear that. That makes me so happy. And it's like for Gen X, when you add up that average of 4 hours a day, I think it's something like 65 days a year. So it's like over 2 months of a year spent on your phone.
Isn't that
Uh,
insane?
it's insane. And we did a wonderful Instagram live this morning with Jill Deacon, and then my daughter and her roommate came on after, and her roommate, who's so sweet, is very honest, told us that she sometimes spends 10 hours a day on her phone. So that's going to add up to be like half her year, and she's doing things. I mean, she's doing things on her phone, but anyway, I was talking to her about the DMN and trying to make her understand that this stuff is shortcutting her creativity in ways that I think are important.
Yeah, it's almost like, is this really how you want to spend your life?
Yeah, I think so. And in the bigger kind of more creepy science fictiony area, it feels like we're creating now two realities. One that is the phone reality of your social media and how you're doing on your phone and how you're what how busy you are and what you're achieving in business, but business is somehow now all social media, it feels like. And then there's actual life. And it's so surprising when you put down the Instagram, when you put down the online life that you're leading, how quickly it fades in importance, and real life feels delicious. I think, a part, I told you before that, at the beginning, I didn't want to make a course and I didn't want to write a book. I just wanted to go off and be a novelist who wasn't addicted to her phone, but I felt I had to share. And the people I most want to reach, honestly, are parents, not teenagers, although I do have a 90% Gen Z discount on my course. So
Good call.
Gen Z
Nice,
can
nice.
get it
Yeah.
for 90% off because I want them to have it. Um, it's parents. It's parents. Parents keep saying to me, how do I get my kid off of their phone? And I say, you need to lead by example. Take my course, get your phone use under control, And you need to, and I don't say this, but we parents need to understand how damaging our phone use is to our children. It's really bad for them because they need our attention. And they need us also to process our emotions and be calm, non reactive people so that we can be good parents. But if you're on your phone trying to soothe your anxiety, then when your kid says, Mom, 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 you're like, What? you know,
That is so
I'm just
familiar.
making
There's
reservations for tomorrow night. And they're like, I know, but I'm never mind. It's like you just
hold
see.
on, a dog is doing a trick. I need to watch another part.
Put a band put some pressure on it. I just need to see this dog do a trick.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, it's parents I want to reach. Parents can model behavior for their kids. Parents can set boundaries once they have their own boundaries in place. And I would really love for parents to stop contentifying their kids. I was guilty of it for a while, and I released myself. I don't feel ashamed, but we I understand the parents who want to take photos of their kids and post them on Instagram. I've gotten way off track, but I'll just say one last thing. I understand that parents want to take pictures of kids and share them on Instagram. This is because they want to feel connected to other people. They want to feel connected to their grandparents and their uncles and their cousins, and they want everyone to love each other and to be connected. But social media is an illusion of connection. So they're not actually connecting. All you're doing is spending your precious time running a little magazine of photos of your children online, a carefully curated magazine that you shoot. It takes you away from enjoying the moment because you're always shooting. You have to be the photographer, then you have to be the editor, and you have to be the scheduler and the marketer of your family. Man, you deserve
I
to
I
enjoy
had one of
yourself.
these during the phone fight.
Did
So
you?
my son is a really high level volleyball player,
Oh yeah.
and he was at this international volleyball tournament in
Uh-huh.
China while this was going on, and all these accounts were posting cool photos and videos of him
Uh,
doing this stuff, and I was like, I really need to just go on and share this stuff
yeah.
about my son or whatever, and I kind of caught myself, and I was like, do I like does
Yeah.
I think he knows I love him and does not need my, or I can send him text or call him and, to tell him that stuff. He does not
Yeah.
need me to publicly do it. All of his friends and the volleyball community already know this. And does like, does my LinkedIn community need to know about my son playing volleyball? I don't think so. Uh, and I was like, I'm fine. I don't need to. And it was like
Yeah.
this real, catch yourself in your weird default behaviors with
I
this stuff.
know. It's really nice. Yeah, it's nice when you get intentional and you really look at your behaviors and then you can ask, do I need this? Is this doing anything? Who am I speaking to? And is this how I want to spend my time? That's the biggest question.
Yeah, and it's funny. Like I wrote something about these questions I've been asking myself lately
Yeah.
this week, and one of
Yeah.
them is like, what am I avoiding? And your course is one of the things that I mentioned in it because it's like we all kind of know the things that we should be stopping or starting,
Yeah.
and we're avoiding doing it, right? And I think it's because you're getting some benefit from doing it, but you know it's not great for you. And every single time I have done one of these experiments, and the phone fight is like such a perfect thing for me, it's like when you actually do the thing that you know you should be stopping or starting and dig into the thing that you're avoiding, instantly you're just like, why didn't I do this a long time ago?
Yeah.
And because it's so obvious that you should be doing it, and and so in some ways, anybody who's on here watching this, listening to me, like, if you know you're here doing it, you may be peripherally watching it, being like, oh, I'm curious about that. There's a reason, and
Yeah.
what can you actually start doing about it? It would be
Yeah. Yeah.
my prompt. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I love that prompt. And I'll say that, the course, the 5-week phone fight is launching today. There is a webinar on the website. The website is fightyourphone.com. I was going to try to pin it up here, but I don't know how to do it. So it's fightyourphone.com. And there's a webinar with a code for a big discount in it. So if you're interested, I would really love people to sign up. I'm also, Steve, I'll try this idea out on you right now. I'm also thinking of doing a New Year's cohort that starts the week before January 1st. And we meet live each week and talk and share what our problems are. And like, so it's both you take the course and there's a coaching component. So I'm going to sort of go out to the Substack community and see if anybody wants to do that and see if that sounds interesting. But I think it could be fun to do it with a group. I mean, and what a way to start the new year it would be.
So that was one of the really cool things about the beta testing thing is there was a
Yeah.
group component of having things and you could see other people and how they were struggling or finding success,
Yeah.
with their different phone fights. It was nice not just doing it in isolation.
Yeah.
And I got to say, the timing for New Year's feels pretty bang on, where everybody is going to be like, I need to make some changes in my life. And what are the things I want to prioritize? And I think, if I may be so bold, unlike a resolution, doing a course in a program and committing to it, I think, I don't know what the stats are on how quickly people drop resolutions,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the goal is lasting behavior change and not a break. And this feels like one of those things where a lasting long-term change is the healthy thing you're probably looking for. Like that's certainly what I was looking for. And it's not like you don't have periods where you kind of dip back in and like it's not like this, but it's like I just feel like I just feel like I have a much bigger perspective on all this because it was like an ongoing process and the right amount of time to let me keep going,
That's what
so anyways, New Year's.
Everyone in the beta group has said that they have experienced lasting change, which makes me feel pretty terrific. All right, so I will try to put a New Year's cohort together, and I'll go back and read your book, Earn It, to to get some good strategies to think outside the box. I want to thank everyone who's joined us. This is so amazing. And I have some giveaways to reward you all for joining Steve and I today. So I have giveaway questions and I have some merch. I have Fight Your Phone merch. So I have questions. The first person to get it right, you have to put it in the chat. The first person to get it right, you will win your choice of one of these pieces of merch. Okay. This looks deceptively. This looks like a piece of paper. This is actually an 11 by 14 coloring poster. So you get it and you color it in yourself and hang it on your wall. These are stickers. This says Fight Your Phone. This says Not Today Dopamine. And this one says Crushing It by Not Crushing Anything. And this is just a tiger. So those are stickers. And last we have this phone case, which says This phone is the enemy.
Love it.
Those are the prizes. Okay. Now, here are the questions. What is the most used emoji in the world? Put your guess in the chat. We'll see.
I'm so curious about this.
I know. We'll see if anyone is brave enough to put one in. I will say while people are thinking or possibly Googling that smile.
Candy.
Nice candy. Maybe over at your house. Just kidding. LOL. Okay. What was crying, laughing, love? Wait a minute. Oh, I can't see these comments as they roll up. Gwendo said crying, laughing. That's correct. Gwendo. I believe that is my cousin, Gwendolyn Bond. You win. You win. So you need to just email me your address and which one of these pieces of swag you would like. Stickers, phone case, color your own poster. I have another question. Okay. I don't want you guys to feel bad that you didn't win. Thumbs up, Candy. I know that's an entry, but also thumbs up to you. Okay. I'm really setting you up for success. Gwendolyn, you are not eligible to answer this question. You already won once. I'm really setting you up for success. How many weeks long is the 5-week phone fight? They're thinking. They're trying. They're fumbling. They're fumbling their thumbs trying to answer. How many weeks long is the 5-week phone fight? Yes, Candy.
Great
Nailed
job,
it.
Candy. Great job.
Nailed it. You nailed it, Candy. Candy, email me at emmy@fightyourphone.com. Okay, Fight Your Phone is the website. Check it out. It's great. My mom, being a wise ass, is now saying 17. Geraldine Laybourne, that is incorrect. I have one more. Let's see here. I'm going to give you guys a really easy one, just for fun. Enter the emoji of the animal that is the official mascot for the 5-week phone fight. Enter the emoji of the animal that is the official mascot for the 5-week phone fight. Who's going to get it first? Now, Candy and Gwendolyn are not eligible. So we only have a few people playing here. We'll have to see.
Is anyone going to grab this prize by the tail?
Gwendolyn, oh, she's got it. She got it. Okay, Gwendolyn, 2 prizes for you. What can I say? You won. You got it twice. Right. So Gwendolyn, you'll tell me what other prize you want. Now, if you didn't get a prize and you're furious and you feel like, who's this cousin of Emmy's coming in and sweeping up the prizes? I have one more event today. It is an AMA, Ask Me Anything. And I wish I were tech savvy enough to put the link here in the thing. I just don't think I can do it. But it is on my Instagram. It is on my Substack. If you look at the posts that are around here, you should find a link for it. And that will be hosted on Demio. And I will be talking more about the course. I'll show some fun pictures. I'll take all of your questions and I'll give away even more prizes. Steve, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me. This is and thank you for making the course. Like, I really had such a great experience and it has been transformative for me. So it's a real treat to be here on your launch day to talk about it. And
thank you.
Thank you. And good luck resisting the siren's call as you have to go promote this on social media. Resist. Yeah.
I shall. I'll be strong. Yeah. I'll be strong. And maybe you and I will get to come on again and talk sometime because this sure was fun.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. Okay. And enjoy the rest of your launch day. Congratulations.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Bye, Candy.